Who do I have with me today?
Oh, it's your boy Vigilante, man.
Yo, what's good, bro?
I'm chilling, man. What you got going on?
Man, it's good to have you, man. It's good to have you. Tell the people where you from, man.
I was born in Flint and raised in Benton Harbor, in Michigan, for those who don't know where those cities are located.
And, you know, I see that you an actor and an artist.
Yeah.
So I want to touch both sides. Let's start on the artist side.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your history. I know you have, Fly Away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You did a little so deaf, little some. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, you thought I wasn't ready for this.
Nah, I know. You're definitely a vet. I know what's going on.
So yeah, tell us about your experiences, man, and up to today.
Damn, like, where you want me to start?
I want to know the journey, man. Like, was it easy, and what was some of the difficulties?
Oh, like my overall synopsis.
Like rapid. Bring it to 2022 wrap up.
My journey so far has been a very custom journey. I've enjoyed my journey, and I've learned so much, and I'm able to give so much knowledge away based off of the stuff that I've learned. Myself now has so much knowledge from myself back then, and I just feel like that I was one of those people that was lucky enough to find them a niche that created me a very substantial fan base, that created a lot of marketing dollars around it to keep me in a very good financial status, and that financial status comes with the power and the trust of the people, and I was able to not blur those lines between having to become a fake entity within the industry so that the people's trust was not violated. So I have one of those careers, and I wanted to stay that way for the rest of my career. That's
crazy. You sound like this guy named Face I know.
Cool guy, I heard.
So, with that being said, what are some of the ways that you are using that now? Basically, it seems to me you've been had power, and now you basically realize your power and your worth. Mm-hmm. So, how are you displaying this thing within your niche? Like, what is the niche now? What have you figured out as far as your niche?
What I figured out is that my niche is very broad. So the weird part about it is there's a podcast called Finding Your Niche with Niche. Shout out to Niche. And we were having an interesting conversation because before I came on her show, I already had about 200 radio interviews, podcast things that I had done because I invented the independent media tour back in 2015. So when I got to her, she's like, I want you to come in as an artist. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because then it takes away from the acting and the modeling and this and that. And I want to talk about everything. And she was like, well, my show is not really built like that. It's like you pick one lane and then we talk about that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, but you have a dope ass show and I want to go on it. So we went back and forth for like 2 weeks about what the premises of my episode was going to be about. And she was like, you know what? Since we've been talking this whole time, I kind of figured it out. I said, what's up? She said, you're the network king. You network in every avenue that you're in and put yourself in the best position so that you can be on the side of the people in a high stature in every avenue. And I said, God damn, you're right. And that was the title of my episode, The Network King.
Okay. That makes some sense. So how was life growing up for you?
As a kid, I grew up in a real hood environment. Well, let me start from the beginning. So I was born in Flint and then moved back to Benton Harbor when I was about 1 or 2 years old. Benton Harbor is a very hood place. It's really bad. For people that have seen the movie Lean on Me, when you see the first scene, that was like my experience growing up, how bad it was. Gangs, drugs, all of that stuff. But I came from a very church household, so they was able to keep me guarded and to keep me shielded from a lot of stuff. Every offer that I had to be affiliated with things I shouldn't have been affiliated with, I turned it down. I kept my head in sports and kept my head in the books, and I never even been to jail. Somebody asked me, like, have you ever been arrested before? And I said, no, the only time I ever been in the back of a police car was when I was filming with Homicide Hunter on Investigation Discovery, and I had to do a scene in the back of a police car. I didn't even know how hard the motherfucking seats was or any of that shit. Y'all tripping with them hard ass seats in the back of a police car. Y'all niggas just tripping. And that fence, that's too goddamn close. So I just was very, grateful for having the upbringing and surrounding that I did. And then I had like an everybody hates Chris upbringing too, where I lived in the hood and went to school over there. Because if I went to my school, I would be dead for sure. And because I didn't want to be affiliated. So you would be dead for being affiliated and then be dead for not wanting to be affiliated. So it was a lose-lose. If you wasn't the beast, the king of the jungle, the nigga that nobody wanted to fuck with, then you was just food. And I'm glad that my parents picked that up early. I was not allowed to go to the middle school. I was not allowed to go to the high school. Once elementary was over, we went across town and we went to school over there. So I appreciate my mom for that. And then when I came to Atlanta, that was around the time when Roscoe Dash was the hottest artist. What's his name? Waka was just coming out. And Atlanta wasn't number one yet for hip hop or acting or anything. It wasn't Black Hollywood yet. Tyler Perry had his studio, but it wasn't the number one studio like that yet. So I'm literally in the very beginning stages of watching this shit happen. And this was when I started doing music. So now I'm coming from being in Michigan. I'm listening to Eminem and Big Sean. And then I come down here and I'm listening to Waka Flocka and Gucci and this. And I'm conflicted within myself because it's like, we have what we consider to be hip hop. And then we have, rap. And then we come down here and it's more hip hop. And then you like, okay, so now that I'm making music, but I'm living here, but I represent there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You can't ever drop your flag.
Yeah. So it's like it's a hell of a dilemma because I'm promoting here and I'm making it here, but my sound is there. So then I just had to find a blend. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? The perfect person to kind of like mirror would be Wayne, where Wayne would take all of the popular beats from every region and put bars on them. So now not only can you relate to them because your favorite artist rapped on it, but now you gotta fuck with that person because they're putting harder lyrics on it. Like a song like Watch My Shoes that Wayne did. I didn't even know that was Jeezy and Fabulous song. I've never heard the original to this very day. When you go to the club and you hear people play Wasted, they don't play Gucci Mane's song. They play Lil Wayne's verse on Wasted. Ice Cream Paint Job, they don't play Darrell's song. They play Lil Wayne's verse on Ice Cream Paint Job. So I started noticing that. And I said, I'm going to mimic that. So I put that on YouTube. It started going viral for back in the day. This is before YouTube was monetized. This is before Facebook monetized. Before there was ever even Instagram wasn't even a thought. This is right. Twitter verification started in 2009. So people didn't even give a fuck about social media back then at all. People just had it to stay in touch with family. So that's when I started my career around that time, 2010. That's when I started.
Okay. What are some of the lessons that you took with you from a child that you still carry today?
I wrote a verse called Same Love by Macklemore. And when I wrote that verse, the verse went, when I was in the 3rd grade, I was baptized by my Uncle Willie. From that moment, every day, the devil tried to steal me. I don't blame him, but it's a waste of time. And if it's not a waste of his, then it's a waste of mine. My people ask me, what world do I think I live in? I say one with equal opportunity for you and me. I guess because I'm young, they try to discriminate, but I'm a leader by nature, so I demonstrate. I listen to advice, though it's not precise. Only stories of the beaten that were meant to weaken. I chose a lane of dark roads and cold streets, but I'm my own light, so I do it with froze feet. Nobody knows me, and that's cool, it's nothing new. The way I think is very few, so approval I don't need. All the blessings I retrieved are only because I believe. So I took that, I wrote that when I was 15, and I took that same ideology. I'm 28 now, and my entire 13 years of my career have been based around those principles from that verse. And just different shit that you see when you start to get successful. You start to notice that even the most unsuccessful people still feel like that they have a voice. And then you start to realize that, okay, I have to channel and pretty much funnel what it is that I listen to. Because if I listen to everybody, I'm going to get nowhere. Because all I'm going to be doing is spending my time hearing opinions. And the opinions, people put you in a weird predicament because when you stop listening to people that's not successful, they look at you as arrogant. And then when you only listen to people that's successful, they look at you as a clout chaser. So then you be right in the middle. So people don't understand the psychology of that. So the people who don't understand that psychology, those are the people that I leave alone. And the people that understand that psychology and go, you know what? I'm gonna try my best to take my foot off your neck so that you have a chance to breathe, because I understand that I didn't have to go through what you went through to get where you are. And then those are the people that I rock with the most. So those are the lessons I took.
But it's like at the same time, you don't never know what a man went through to get where he at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what annoys me the most, because it's really, and it's not really a shot, but I want to say it's the unsuccessful people or the insecure people that have the most opinions.
Yeah.
Like they got the most to say. But it's like you said, when you evaluate, like, okay, what you got?
What you got?
What you got going on?
Because that's really all that they have to do. Talking is free. So I remember before I got verified on Instagram, somebody asked me, yo, you like this close to getting your verification. What are you going to do when you get your verification? I said, the first thing I'm going to do is turn off my comments. They didn't understand. They're like, why? Why would you turn off your comments? This is when everybody's going to start commenting. I said, exactly. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. Your shit ain't blue. So, who gives a fuck? And that's not to say that I'm going to shit on you. It's to say that you watched me for 13 years go from this little kid that grew up in this bad environment with not one fan to somebody with 100,000 fans on one platform, 10,000 on TikTok, 5,000 on Snapchat, another how many ever on Facebook, and worldwide, the people that are just walking around. You can't even monetize your fans in real life because you don't know who is and who ain't. You just know that everybody knows you. So then you take that mind state and you go, okay, for a person that can't obtain this and won't obtain this, the way that you feel about it is now null and void. The only people that I care about is the people that helped me get to this point, because they watched my mental evolve over the years and they evolved with me. So regardless of how big you got, if you my manager, I don't expect you to be as famous as me. But I respect your opinion because you've been helping to mold what the Vigilante brand is for 13 years. So I appreciate that.
That's a fact. So in 2014, you had a single called "That's How We Do." That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Took over 100 different radio stations.
Yeah.
When that was happening, what was your mind? Where was your mind at that time? Like, what was going through your head?
As I was doing that?
As it was just rotating and it kind of seemed like it took off.
Yeah.
Like, how did you feel?
Man, I felt good because I produced that beat. So that was my first time creating a club banger. And then around that same time, I was actually just graduating from SAE Institute of Technology. So it was around 2014 is when I released it. 2015 is when it became like a big song. And I graduated in 2015. Graduated high school 2013, went to college 2014, graduated 2015. So then, man, I'm out of college, I'm out of high school. I feel good as a college graduate itself. Now I got this big production. Now I got this song to it. And you know, as creatives, when we produce something, it starts off as an idea, and then you put it into fruition. And then when you put vocals to it, it's like, okay, I hope this sounds good. And then when both of them come together, that's an achievement in itself, with nobody hearing it. And then once people start to hear it and they fuck with it, and then graphics go up here, billboards go up here, and then spins go up here, it's like victory, 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 victory. So in my mind at that time, I had to be like 19, 20, 21 years old during that entire time. And I'm doing something that I'm not even aware of as far as creating the independent media tour. Back at that time, podcasts, web series, all that stuff, it didn't even exist. People didn't have independent media. You either worked for Streets 94.5, 107.9, V103. Nobody had microphones in their house. Everybody had a home studio from Guitar Center, but nobody had like a podcast or anything like that. So at that time, when No Days Off Radio and I don't want to leave nobody out, but when all of these first started, I was some of their first interviews.
That's crazy, because No Days Off, this they first building right here.
Oh, this was their first building?
Well, they worked out of this building, yeah.
Okay. So
this was their first time they transitioned from the living room to this building.
Oh, okay. I was in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like in the super early stages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Man, that's wild. Yeah, so shout out to them, man, because...
Yeah, shout out No Days Off.
Shout out No Days Off. I mess with y'all. Y'all were pivotal in helping my career because y'all had the spins going. Y'all kept me in the limelight. And then I just kept going from station to station to station to station. And then I would take my fame. I would go to 107.9. And then I would go back to an independent. And then I would go to streets and I would go back to an independent. And at that time, that was unheard of. Once you made it to the Breakfast Club, you're not going back to do a small independent show. But I was one of them people that was like, I'm going to do that because there's people in media that I fuck with that don't get the same shine as what I consider some of these button-pushing monkeys to be, that don't really have no personality or give a fuck about people coming up. They just want to kiss ass of the A-list, B-list celebrities and pretend like they've been their friends forever. When they come through, give them a hug, take a picture, and then pretend like they never knew them. I'm trying to get that shit out of here so that we can have actual camaraderie. And I know the best media that I've run into within my almost 300 interviews that I want to put in position. So that was my goal at that time. So that's where my mind was at as I'm meeting these people. First, I'm just trying to build my buzz up. But then next, I'm looking at it like, yo, you're dope. I'm listening to this person on 107.9. They suck. You're good. So now I'm going to use my celebrity to make sure that y'all swap. I'm not trying to get this person fired, but I'm trying to bring to the attention of the radio station that this person deserves a job there. And that's when that shit first started. So that's where my mind was the whole time.
So in 2020, you had a meeting with the Cobb County law enforcement?
Yeah. Yep.
How did that go for you?
It went well. It was definitely different. It was just so many different injustices happening back to back to back, and I'm just no answer. And I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, it's too much going on right now for nobody to have no answers. So what I did was I scheduled a meeting with the chief of police in Cobb County. For those people for anybody that lives in Georgia, you know Cobb County and the reputation and all of that good stuff. So I set up the meeting. I didn't really know like what I was going in there to like talk about or do. I just wanted to meet the chief and talk to him and him hear my voice and us start to bridge the gap. Because even though African Americans don't really rock with law enforcement like that, law enforcement is not going anywhere. So this is a system that we didn't create, that we fall under. So we have to have somebody come in and bridge the gap and start to slowly build that connection so that we can lessen what's going on and then stop what's going on. Because the marching and stuff is not really, it's not solving the problems. Our past solutions are not solving the present problems. We have to come up with a 2022 solution for a 2022 problem. So when I got there, I remember my lady at the time, she dropped me off and she was like, yo, I don't want you to do this. Right when we pulled up to the police department, I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I just don't feel comfortable about this. I don't know how this is going to end. I don't really know. And I'm like, somebody got to do it. So I went in there, checked in. I met the chief. I met the deputy chief, who is right underneath the chief, who is African American. I met the sergeant, who's African American. I met the lieutenant, African American, and the first woman on the dive team, who's African American. So a lot of people don't know that Cobb County Police Department is actually very diverse. And I didn't know that until I went in there myself. So when I had the meeting with them, the conversation, they gave me a 15-minute block. That conversation turned into 2 hours. And what we were talking about was just the basic mind state of being a civilian in 2020 at that time. The basic mind state of being a police officer, what it means to do good police work versus harassment, what it means to, what is corruption, how do you feel about the reputation of the city? Do you feel like you're doing good police work? What do you feel when an African American gets killed for no reason and stuff like that? Like, we're having a real backyard conversation, and it got very active. I'm going to just put it out there that he was not trying to defend himself or deflect. You could tell that he was coming from the position of a privileged Caucasian man who has a family, who spends his time behind the desk, who probably once upon a time was, a foot officer, and just is not really still in touch with that side of law enforcement. Uh-huh. So I couldn't fault him because for people like myself who interact with white people all the time, you can tell when they're like, bro, I didn't know. Or I never looked at it like that. But they don't not do it on purpose. I can tell that he hasn't contributed to those killings personally. And I can tell that he would want to do something about it if it was in closer proximity. But that has nothing to do with the reputation of Cobb County as a whole. So your oblivion cannot be a representation of everybody's everyday living conditions. So I didn't know what the conversation did, but when the conversation was over, everybody in the room felt good. We felt like we got heard, and we felt like even the police, the deputy and the lieutenant, all of them, they were giving up their opinions. Like they felt comfortable with me being in there to tell their boss different stuff about the police department. So that felt good to open the floor for them to feel comfortable, because I don't have nothing to lose or gain. I'm just a civilian. But this is their job, and this is their boss. So they feel a little less comfortable, but now they're comfortable. So I get on Instagram, and I see that he is now standing in front of the police department as the chief. He has all his officers behind him, white, black, Asian, all of them. And he makes a post saying, "We will not stand for discrimination, injustice, racial profiling, anything. Zero tolerance. Any officer will be let go immediately with no pension and just letting them have it." And you can tell some officers behind him were uncomfortable. They felt like it was unnecessary. And some officers were like, "Yes, I'm glad you're saying this." So it's to his discretion when he goes back to that video who he wants to, chastise for them being uncomfortable, and the people that he wants to promote and continue to have on his force so that we can have a better tomorrow. So that was my goal. That's how it went. And that's the full story on it.
So you, on the actor side, you have 21 questions turned and saved in the city.
Yeah, it's just to name a few.
Just name a few.
Yeah, just to name a few.
How different is the acting world from the music side?
I love it so much. So much. I feel like that the music side is a popularity contest. There's so much bullshit that gets pushed through and people have to support. That's one thing I do love about Atlanta, is that no matter how trash a lot of y'all artists are, y'all really stand behind them, and they really. Are you from here?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay, you from Brooklyn.
East New York, to be exact.
How long you been here?
About 7 years, but I can't say I've been sitting here. I've been, in and out.
In and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Atlanta scene, they really stand behind their artists a lot.
Yeah.
And they have a camaraderie within themselves. They don't beef with each other. Not much. So that's why it's weird when you see the stuff going on with Thug and Lucci and stuff like that. It's wait a minute, but ain't y'all both from, you know what I'm saying? That's weird here. But other places like New York, they be 2 blocks away from each other and beefing with each other for life.
But the crazy thing, I've seen I've been in and out of the Atlanta scene, you know what I'm saying? I used to be a lot more involved in the scene, but it was a lot of things that turned me off. But I would admit, a lot of the outsiders that come here, it seemed like they're more supportive to the Atlanta artists, maybe because they're in their city, but it seemed like they're more supportive to them than their fellow artists that might come here as well.
Say it a different way.
Okay,
say what you
let me say it like this.
Mm-hmm.
For example, a New York promoter will come here, do the most for the Atlanta scene, but when it comes to their own fellow New Yorkers saying, hey, put me in position, or hey, what you got going on over here? It's a lot of hesitancy with that, but you'll do everything for the Atlanta scene, because I feel like that's a clout. That's a way of clout as well. And
when you say that, do you mean in terms of the New Yorker doing that in Atlanta, or the New Yorker doing that to the New Yorker in New York as well?
No, doing it to New Yorker in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Is this show uncut?
It is uncut.
It is? Okay. There's a lot of dick sucking that's going on.
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's a lot of that's going on. And honestly, when you have the masses seeing that the acting scene is here, that the music scene is here, I remember I had a girlfriend in Maryland, and we were at the store, and we were shopping. I forgot which store. I think it was DTLR in Maryland. And I hear and I'm like, this is not a Maryland artist.
Right.
We're in Maryland. Why am I here in Atlanta? Like, I'm not mad, but this is crazy. Why, when I go to New York, am I hearing Hannah Montana? Don't Jay-Z live here? This is weird. And then the New York radio and the New York DJs wonder why y'all, well, not y'all, but you know what I'm saying, why they lost it. That's why.
They gave it away. That's what I'm saying. And they come here and give it away more.
Give it away more, yeah.
I personally experienced that from New Yorkers here. Yeah. Like, I don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
Cause like, damn, bro, you basically dropped your flag. Like, you could help everybody, but it's crazy.
It's crazy how that happened. And people like myself who from Michigan moved to Atlanta, I still acknowledge every day that hip hop started in the Bronx in '79. So for people that's from the mecca of that to give that up, that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. So I can't be a part of that. From the time that I'm born to the time that I die, hip-hop started in '79 in the Bronx. Hip-hop is a New York birthed thing. People were doing it already worldwide, but it became a commercial and a business when Bronx did what they did in '79. And it expanded from there. As far as commercials, labels, all of that stuff. We owe that to them for life. That never goes away. So shout out to Atlanta for doing what they did. Every region has their moment, has their artists. West Coast, East Coast, the South, the North, everywhere. Other countries, British people rapping, all types of stuff. So I'm just happy that hip-hop was able to expand as far as it did. But at the end of the motherfucking day, the Bronx, New York, 1979.
So I heard earlier in the interview you was basically was making moves before Instagram and all of that stuff. How do you feel with Instagram actually being a thing right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like in Snapchat and TikTok, it's a big difference from being here trying to do this shit when that shit wasn't around. Mm-hmm. How does that work for you now?
Yeah, I'm very adaptable. So I feel like that I would have been successful and would have adapted to any circumstances, whether it's cassette tapes, records, CDs, because I came at the end of the CD era to CD Baby and TuneCore and watched all of that shit become a thing. So, you know, I love using Instagram as a tool because there's so much positivity that you can do. I've never been a fan of bullshit media. Like, I've never been on Shade Room, I've never been in TMZ, I've never been on World Star, and I became rich and famous without all of that. And I want to show more people that you can become rich and famous without all of that. And that's not to shit on their platforms, but at the end of the day, when you promote bullshit, you get bullshit back. So I love the fact that Instagram allows you to control your narrative. A nigga can literally be like, yo, Vigilante punched the old lady yesterday, and I can go on my Instagram and be like, yo, homie lying. Like, just that simple and clear it up. And then that lets me know after that which media is going to be like, nah, Vigilante lying. Okay, so I'm not going to fuck with them, not going to fuck with them, not going to fuck with them, because I put the truth out and you don't give a fuck. You just want a headline. So now I know that I need to take my fame and my celebrity and continue to give it to the people who deserve it and push you out of the way. So Instagram allows me to see a lot. It is really, at the core, even though it's marketing, it's really a dating app. You probably wasn't expecting me to say that.
I mean, I won't deny that.
You know what I'm saying?
I won't deny that.
When you listen to Tate and you listen to Kevin and you listen to all these other successful red pill individuals, and I'm not team red pill, I'm team vigilante.
Yeah.
I am a Sigma male, and I am also a Sagittarius. So, and I remember being broke, and now I am rich, and I see the difference in the way that women treat me, and I see why they do it now, because now I understand female nature. So I want to give a shout out to all the aunties and grandmas and moms who didn't teach us a motherfucking thing about female nature growing up and raised us to be beta males, and we had to figure out how the fuck to get out of that shit from watching videos on YouTube. So salute to y'all.
But I do want to say this though.
Mm-hmm.
You notice how they treat you, the women, right?
Yeah.
But what else has changed?
What you mean?
For you, mentally, when it comes to women?
When it comes to them?
Mm-hmm.
Just understanding the wiring.
So, would you say that it's safe to say that in the same time as them seeing how they treat you, you raise your value level as far as what you expect from them?
Yes and no.
Would you say you talking to the same women now that you was talking to then?
Differently. I'm talking to... Here's the thing. I'm glad you're saying that. I'm about to give you a synopsis. So, as a high value man, the misconception is that you fuck everything. The thing about it is, a woman who has no value still has a lot of men coming her way. She just never can get the man that she wants because a man of value understands that she has no value. So she'll get fucked on, but then she'll get left. That's why every woman that you ask, if you line up 10 women and you ask them, hey, have you ever dated a celebrity? 8 of them are going to say yeah. 1 of them going to say that they still with them. But none of them ever dated a celebrity. They were around a celebrity. And he was fucking on you for a duration of time and then sent you back to where you came from. But in their mind, they know they can't pull another guy like that, so they're in a relationship in their head. So that's why the women that I mess with now are women who understand value. They bring value, they are value, they see value first. When they look at me, they're like, yo, that's value. And then they come to me as value. And then we build that value and create more value. But the other trash women are still around because who else are they going to go to? They don't want their boyfriends. They don't want the other low value men that they're around. They're only shooting for the same man. So what's going to happen is, because I'm also a polygamous man as well, so that girl, the low value girl, is still going to get fucked on, but she's going to get pushed to the side. And then my girls that I keep that are the core are going to stay around me and work together, build with us, and then we're going to keep that as the synergy. That's what changed. When I was broke, I couldn't have a synergy. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have no structure to give them. And then I couldn't discredit a low value ass, weak ass woman because I didn't understand what that was. Because I'm trying to reason with her because she is the guiding light for me. Like, man, if I can get this girl, I'm the man. Mm-hmm. That's bullshit. I'm the man when I don't want this girl no more. And I had to figure out that that's what it was in my mental years later. I'll tell you a short story. When I was living in Michigan, I was a freshman. There was a girl that I wanted. She didn't want me back. She was fine. We only went to a 200 student school, so she didn't even, high school, so she didn't even have people to choose from like that. And she still didn't want me. I had her number and everything, and she would just blow me off. I would see her every day, give her a hug. She still ain't want me. So I moved to Atlanta, 2010. I'm going viral on all the platforms. I get my first tattoo. I started growing my dreads the first year. I changed my whole wardrobe. I go back to Michigan to visit because I only been here for 1 year, so all my friends are still in Michigan. I go back to visit. This girl shoot me a text before I even got in state lines. Here's my address. I pull up. She gave me a hug, like a big hug that she never gave me before. I give her a little side hug. I see what Atlanta girls look like. So now I'm comparing it to going back. And she's still bad, but I don't even want her no more. So now she on me, like, she give me a hug, she sit on my lap and she say, and this is my right hand up to God, she say, if you know what I'm thinking right now, then you can do it. So we get started, and then she's still staying with her folks. Mind you, I'm like 16 at the time.
So you figured out what she was thinking?
Yeah, I figured it out. I figured out what she was thinking. I already knew what she was thinking by the way she was on me. Yeah. Because that's how the Atlanta girls was on me when I moved down here from Michigan. So, because Atlanta embraces everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just, it's different because when you come from up north, they're not embracing nobody.
Yeah.
And you a New Yorker, so you know that better than anybody.
Yeah, it's like the music scene and the Atlanta itself is different.
It's different.
Yeah,
the whole culture, the whole environment, that's why I love it here. I used to hate it because it's like, damn, we can't just accept everything. But then I realized that it's not about accepting everything. It's about everything being available and then you figuring out what you want to give your attention to. That's what it is. So then, long story short, her little brother starts coming down the steps, and then we stop doing what we're doing, and we just sit back up and start watching TV again. And I just start thinking in my mind, just a year ago, the same girl didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Not that she didn't want me with her, she just friend zoned me. And then a year later, she's about to give it up to me. And I haven't gotten her no flowers. I haven't pulled no door open. I haven't took her on a date. Nothing. I'm just me. I raised my value because I started focusing on myself. And when I started focusing on myself, she's seen all of the girls commenting on my shit. She's seen how I became scarce. So now she's probably looking from Michigan going, damn, I had the opportunity to be with him. Oh, he about to come back and visit? Oh, I need to lock this down. The best thing about me is my vagina. So I have to throw that at him immediately because I got to put my best foot forward. And that's what I learned when it came to women.
So.
You got a lot of good clips for this one.
A lot of good clips. So earlier we was talking about before we wrap it up. Earlier we was talking about energy and the right people around you and let's get into that. Let's get into that. Let's get into how do you move in a room full of vultures?
Yeah.
Whether it be your team, their team, or the y'all team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly just over there. The thing I love about being a Sigma male, I was just telling somebody this earlier at the barbershop.
Now, what's a Sigma male for the
I got
people
you.
that might...
Are you familiar?
I am not.
Are you not? Okay,
I'm the people.
So, a Sigma male is the perfect blend between an alpha and a beta.
Okay, makes sense.
So a Sigma male would be like Dame is an alpha male, Jay-Z is a Sigma male.
So it'll be the mixture of both of them.
The mixture of both, but they just carry it in two different ways.
Yeah.
The alpha male is the one that's like, I'm rich, you should be with me, fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
The Sigma male is the one that's like, shit, this nigga's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But they still move in the same way.
They got the exact same rodeo. They got the exact same car, but he's just like, I'm not gonna carry it like that. You just gonna see me with 7 women, but I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
it's like that. So being a Sigma male, I've learned to, and then I was raised with all women. I'm the only boy of 5 sisters, so I learned how to pick up language real quick. Women talk very indirectly, but they want you to be direct with them.
In your windows.
All in your windows.
Crazy.
Even from the story I just told, if you can guess what I'm thinking, she could have clearly just started, but she wants to. What women do is they want to make it your fault, so that way, if something happens, they can go, well, that's what he wanted to do, so they don't have to assume any responsibility for it. So what you have to do is you have to have limited liability in every situation. So that's why I was able to take all of these lessons I learned from women and then move it over to real life and the business. It taught me everything. It taught me about hypergamy in business. So when I'm driving and I have on a dope shirt and I'm in a drop top, that lets other businesses go. Nike is looking at my page going, okay, this man got a drop top. He got a shirt on. We can throw his $200,000 bag at him and trust him because he good with his own money. The girls is commenting, oh, they want him. Okay, boom. Let's send him that DM. And that's when you get that random DM from that clothing company. And when you in a room full of people who, full of people who have a bunch of ideas, once they start throwing them around, you can figure out who has your best interest at heart. And I learned that from dealing with women as well, because women run off of nostalgia, narrative, and aesthetics, and emotion. And for people who don't know what that means, I'll break that down. Nostalgia is an unrealistic or old image that somebody has that they're using to continue to prosper off of. Aesthetics is the setup and the mind state of how you feel that something should go based off of the way that they see it. So that's why women scroll on Instagram and look at Dubai and they go, oh, I want to sit on that swing because of nostalgia and aesthetics. And then they go to their realistic boyfriend who has the realistic money and go, how the fuck do you plan on getting to Bali? Oh, with my thousands. So that you can sit on the swing. And then you gotta have that dumbass conversation about why she's not gonna go overseas to sit on the swing. So once you realize that that's how they're wired and that's how they operate, then you realize that some women don't have your best interest at heart because she values sitting on that swing to post it. She's gonna use your money to sit on that swing to post it to other men that she wants outside of you.
It's kind of like you got two chicks that you date.
Mm-hmm.
One, when you go out, is good vibes. She even offers to take care of the bill or even half of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
But she's offering.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one, you realize, damn, every time I'm with this motherfucker, I'm spending more than I fucking planned.
Mm-hmm.
You don't catch it the first time, but then you be like 1, 2, 3, like, oh no, you gotta go.
Start tallying.
Yes. It's kind of like that, yeah.
Absolutely. That one of the girls I'm talking to right now, she's in school right now, finishing up her master's, and she actually shot her shot at me while we just met a little while ago. She and yes, for the women that's asking on my live, I do like direct women, and yes, I'm single. I'm a polyamorous man, so I'm always single and always in a relationship at the same time. But you move the exact same way. This world is so fucking different. Like, we are so Americanized and Europeanized that we become so pussyfied. Like, I can have a girlfriend and another girl come talk to me and be like, hey, Vigilante, how you doing? And another dude be like, oh, he better not let his girl see. What the fuck do you mean I better not let my girl see? You think I'm a bitch?
These dudes is different.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't know what happened, bro. We in another planet right now.
Niggas are scared of their girlfriends. And you the head of the household.
And wives, cause like
wives.
They act like niggas can't. You just cause you married don't mean you can't go have a drink or go do something fun with the guys. Like, it's crazy.
It's wild as hell. It's wild. And the thing about it is, like, another quick story, just real short. For my 23rd birthday, I was at the crib chilling, and I had a girl over there, and a girl I was talking to. So we gonna call girl number 1 was a girl that was at my crib. Mm-hmm. Girl number 2, she FaceTimed me. I'm in the other room, I'm getting dressed. And girl number 1 says, hey, such and such is calling you. I said, who? She said, such and such. I said, oh, pick it up. She said, huh?
Fuck.
I said, pick it up. She picked it up. The girl says, hey. She says, hey. Is Marcus there? For those who don't know, my government is Marcus. Is Marcus there? Yeah, he's right here. Hey, what's up? I can hear her from the other room. I said, she said, okay, are you coming to the club tonight? I said, yeah. She said, okay, happy birthday. I said, thank you. I'm going to meet you there about 9, 10 o'clock. She said, all right, bet. Her and the other girl start talking. Oh, you're cute. You're cute. You coming to the club tonight? Yeah, I'm coming too. All right, bet. I'll see you there. Okay, cool. That's how this shit is supposed to go. You got to ask yourself, would you rather have a Bugatti that you get to drive 2 to 3 times a week? Or would you rather have a hoopty that you drive 7 days a week? Every girl gonna answer that the exact same way. But they have an image of nostalgia, narrative, and aesthetics to keep up with. They gotta say what sound good for their image. Mm-hmm. And once you bypass all of that, once you start making a certain amount of income and you start being able to afford shit that they can't, you pull up to a date and you got a car that another girl, and you have a car that another girl can afford. If you got a 1992 Ford and she got a Benz, she gonna shit on you with her actions.
Yeah, she you gonna see the little. She gonna.
He know what I'm talking about.
She got a certain like.
He know what I'm talking about.
And you be like, I see you.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You pull up in a Bugatti.
Yeah.
And she got her a little baby Benz. All right, you know what I'm saying? I got the, you're going to feel the energy of her trying to impress you with everything that she does from that point.
Yep.
So, my thing, and I don't want other people to feel like that it's just about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the mentality that comes with earning the money. And it's about the way that you carry out who you are as a person. Because you can be rich and be a lame-ass nigga. You can have an average income and be that guy.
A lot of them, too.
You can be broke and be that guy. So, it's just about, but really, you can only be that guy and be broke for a short amount of time. If you broke 1 year and then a girl come back around and you still broke, she's not going to look at you as that guy for too long. So you can be that guy for a short amount of time, because really you being that guy, you will start earning that income.
This is actually a good talk because, I mean, listening to you talk, it makes me want to reach out to like some guys as far as on this interview and, you know, let them know like, I'm gonna say, my niggas, you gotta get your priorities straight, bro. Like, if you ain't good right now, it's okay to give up. It's okay to chill on the women for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, whenever you do meet that girl that you want, it would be very fucking conducive for you to be established.
Yeah.
Cause like I noticed that, and I'm not knocking women. I get it. It's a whole movement going on. I get it. But I hate to hear some woman say, "I built him. Mm-hmm. I made him." Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like that, bro. Mm-hmm. I would rather you say, "Oh, he already came like that, and I added on, or he added to me." You know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes be wanting these women to make them, bro. How you feel about that?
What's your definition of make?
Okay, so like you said something earlier. You said thank you for YouTube, cause like now YouTube, you got like, for one, mentorship is big when you're moving up in the tax brackets or whatever the case may be. Mentorship is big. A lot of times people lack the connections to get mentored. Mm-hmm. But now that you have people that's going on YouTube that you can find your tribe, you can listen to the same nigga every day. Because if he's resonating with you, there goes your mentorship. So what I'm saying is that now men don't have an excuse not to be strong, not to say, all right, boom, I'm going to get my business right. Yep. I'm going to make this move. I'm going to do this, boom, boom, boom. They don't have to depend on a woman to come in and make them, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, men are not as manly as they used to be.
Agreed. Now that, looking at it from that perspective, I get exactly what you're saying. I want to show something to the camera too. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to show y'all how, when you get your shit together, how the women approach you and what it looks like, and how simple it is and how simple they make it. Because when people, oh man, they playing games, they doing this, no, you entertaining games. All we have as a man is our attention and our validation. A woman does everything for attention and validation. She's trying to get that. Like, if a woman posts some shit on Instagram, she's trying to start a bidding war. That's pretty much what she's doing. It's an auction. So you have to eliminate yourself out of the auction and be like, oh, she's that type of girl? All right, I ain't even interested no more. Mm-hmm. And watch how she be like, wait a minute, what? You don't want this? No, I'm cool. And you go cold like that. That's why the women now are complaining, the men don't approach us anymore. They don't want us. Yeah, we do. We don't want you.
Yeah.
The one who's specifically saying that, that's the one that we don't want. And now that they say that, they have to try to do anything to get the people on their side. When you break up with a girl, the first thing that she does is tell everybody in the family and y'all friends that you are a horrible boyfriend, you're a narcissist, you're an animal, that you're a terrible person. Why? Because she has to try to control the narrative for her image. Look at this DM right here. I think this is from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So what I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna have you get it in focus.
Okay. It's
a girl. She texted me and she said, "Hi, hey, how are you?" I said, "I'm good. Are you shooting your shot?" She said,
"You got straight to it, huh?"
She said, "Ha, something like that." I said, "Cool. Just text me. It's faster." This woman is beautiful. She's like Arabian and African American mixed together. So her hair is like down her back like Rapunzel, and she's thick. She's so fine. So I'm doing that just to show y'all that that's really like, that's really what it is. And then before the podcast started, you see me on FaceTime with another young lady. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm telling her like, yo, get up. We about to do this today. We about to do that today. Let's go hit the gym. Come on, I'm about to be on the radio. Like, pull up. And she's respecting everything that I'm saying because my purpose will always be higher than my desire for her. So she has to chase that validation of, a woman is always going to try to sideswipe what you have going on so she can be the most important thing in your life. She'll be supportive of you at first, but then at some point you will see her being like, so you're going to choose the studio over me? So you're going to choose this over me? So you're going to... Yes. yes, that's what I'm gonna do. But she's so used to people being like, damn, man, alright, man, whatever you say, just to keep the peace. Fuck that. You'll never get peace by giving up peace.
Right, you gotta stand on something.
You gotta stand on it.
And that's what they love the most,
That's
too.
what they love the most, is when you stand on it. Most dudes don't have integrity. They will do anything for a piece of pussy. People will snake their homeboy. All types of shit. You my guy now, even though we just met. You my guy. If a girl come in here and she bad, and you tell me, yo, that's my cousin, I will never look at her ever again. She can follow me on Instagram, that's it. If she shoots her shot at me, I'm going to come to you first and be like, yo, cuzzo just shot her shot at me.
That's called real nigga.
Yeah. if he say, nah, bro, don't even, we good. Boom, we going to leave it at that. I will never be desperate for a piece of pussy. It's 7.7 trillion people in the world. It's another person that look just as bad as his cousin if she's that bad.
And that was the purpose of what I was saying earlier. It's like, niggas will give up opportunities and everything just for a piece of pussy, bro. Like, that's not having your priorities straight at all.
At all.
You turning on niggas that put you in position for a girl.
For a girl.
It's crazy.
And it's temporary. Women are stimulated. They don't never really like us. They're stimulated for the moment. You can think of women that you dealt with a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Where the fuck are they at? Why they not texting you no more? Why you don't see them on your timeline no more? You think she's not getting her back blown out by somebody else right now? You stimulated her for that moment. That moment is over now. So if you're going to snake somebody for something that's temporary, you the ultimate bitch. And I have no respect for you. And as a Sigma male, I peep the whole room and watch who going to do this and who not going to do this. Have conversations with people and be like, damn, so you really would do that to homie like that? Man, shit, fuck that nigga. Oh, so you would feel the same way about me if another girl came around.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, we good then.
Exactly.
I feel you, bro. I'm just maneuver. I ain't got no problem with you. Ain't no bad blood. We just keep it like it is. I understand you now. And I got all sisters. I'm ready, and you know, I celebrity box. I'm ready to punch a nigga in the mouth in any moment. So, but I'm not going to tell them that. They just going to feel it. Like, damn, that nigga right hand was crazy. He must box. And then that's just how that go. I hope y'all learned something from this, man. I'm glad you gave me the platform to be able to.
Oh yeah, this was good, man. Shit. Before we go, let them know where they can find you at on social media.
At Vigilante LOM on everything. If you're trying to get your blue check, then holla at me. I got you.
You know what, man? I see that blue check thing is a sensitive topic for me, man.
Why you say that?
I'ma say it because this. I am face. No. The thing is, I feel like the blue check. I feel like you clearly did your due diligence. From me to you, from one man to another, you did your due diligence. I feel like I did the same thing. Like I have, you know what I'm saying? I was in the news, different things. I had a lot of accomplishments, you know what I'm saying? But it's like when I put the links, I try to go straight through Instagram. I got so many things, and I'm like, I still haven't figured out why they won't give me my check.
Okay.
I'm mad.
I understand that. And honestly, the parameters of how to do that are for certain people inside of the app and for certain people outside of the app. Mm-hmm. So there are different ways to facilitate that. So look at it like this. I didn't know that you get into a country club by buying a home in a certain subdivision.
Right.
When I learned that, I figured out that people at the country club have their own language. So then when you go from a person's page that's verified on Instagram and you look at another person's page that's verified, we have an unspoken language that we speak to each other. So I now have to teach you that language so that you can become the next person who's speaking that. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Oh,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to be hollering at you about that. Because, you know, at first I was like, fuck a blue check. But, I realized the blue check is a thing. And, you know what I'm saying? I need mine.
Yeah, get all of that, man. Get all of that. That's how you have the motherfuckers in your DM shooting their shot like that. And yes, to answer what you said earlier, I get straight to it. I'm not trying to waste no time, dance. I don't care what your favorite color is right now. We can get to that when I see you in person. I'm closed on my penthouse in May. So we can talk about that while you on this balcony and doing our activities.
Of course. You remind me of a young Kevin Samuels.
Shout out to my guy.
That was my guy, man.
Shout out to the guy.
I used to, you know what? I feel like I had too much fights for the nigga for him not to know me. Yeah, I was always defending this man.
And that's universal, man. Like, you have to peep the psychology of that. When people ask me all the time, like, are you going to go up that lane? Are you going to do what Andrew Tate does and do what they do and do what this do? I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it in a different way. Just the same way that I've done everything in my career. The one thing that disturbed me the most is that Kevin Samuels never said anything wrong. He just had his own opinion. And when you have a bunch of people women, who disagree with your opinion because it makes them look a certain way and they don't want to be honest about themselves, I'm not the type of... He'll throw himself in the fire. I'm not going to throw myself in the fire. If I figure out... My whole thing is, if I have 10 women lined up and I tell all of them, you can get the man that you want if you go to the gym, if you put your head in a book, if you go get you a nice car, if you go and put a down payment on a home, if you do this, if you do that, if you keep your legs crossed, if you stop cursing and just speak with better language, if you post pictures on Instagram that are not so provocative but still show off your sexy side, if you curvy, I'm going to be able to see it through your coat. I'm going to be able to see it through your shirt. You don't have to show me. You don't have to advertise yourself like that. Men know we can see this shit.
We have a great imagination.
Yeah. We see the value.
Yeah.
So, if 5 of those women have... But why the fuck should I have to do it? Why? Kev is going to talk to him. I'm not. I'm going to go, okay, I understand where you're coming from.
You'll figure it out later.
You'll figure it out later. You 5, go ahead and make that exit right there. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Y'all 5, y'all down to do that? Yeah, 100%. Where's the gym? It's right over there. Let's get started. That's going to be a big difference between what me and Kev did. And I have no tangible way to show you how I'm going to do it. So much as I've done with everything else in my career, just stay tuned and you guys are going to be thoroughly impressed.
Well, y'all already know it's the Kid Face, man. And this was another great boardroom interview.
Yes.
Make sure y'all tune in, check out the whole interview.
Yes.
And I'm going to see y'all later, man.
Yes, yes.
Give me some more.